Welcome to I Drink Your Podcast.
Oh gosh, it's a real pleasure to be here. Thank you.
You leave me no choice. Here comes the smolder.
Wait, you like that?
No,
you don't like that?
No, I don't like that.
No, how about that? You like that?
A little better.
Bread makes you fat?
Does this count as annoying?
Just tell me what you want me to fuck!
Not you, and not you.
Okay, I think it's time to take off your clothes and jump me.
$1 million isn't cool. You know what's cool?
I drink your podcast! I drink it up!
Welcome, everyone, to I Drink Your Podcast, the podcast where we explore movies from a year. This year is 2010. Just kidding, it's 2022. But I'm Emily, and we have some very special people here today. Ben is here. Hi, Ben.
Hi, Emily. How are you doing?
Doing so great. And we have a fantastic, wonderful human being with us, one of our favorite people in the world. Nick is here from StPaulFilmcast and Kyle and Nick on Film. Hi, Nick. How are you?
Hello, I'm doing wonderful. Thanks for having me again.
Absolutely.
One of my favorite podcasts to listen to. Thank you.
Thanks. That means a lot. Wow. I'm like overwhelmed. That's so sweet.
But I listen to you guys when I do my artworks.
Oh, gosh. That's so cool. I'm going to like start tearing up right now, for real. Oh my God.
Oh, I didn't mean to do that. All right.
No, it's okay. It's just really sweet. Okay, well, we'll get into the silliness, I guess. Ben, what is in your glass for today?
Yeah, I was inspired by a conversation near the end of the movie where the guy's talking about cavities and gold teeth. So
Please tell me you're drinking Goldschlager.
I am drinking Goldschlager with Dr. Pepper.
That's amazing. It is 3:00 on a Thursday, starting it off right with some Goldschlager.
That's right.
Nick, what about you?
Well, since I've been dealing with a head injury and I take heavy medications for it, I can't really drink any alcohol. So I'm just drinking my neighborhood Sprite.
Yeah, nice.
Ooh.
It actually agrees with all the medications I take. So
very nice, very nice.
Emily, you got something good?
Oh, absolutely. You know what? I was really inspired by how there was this whole black market thing for organs and just all the human body stuff, all the things that they're donating, but, selling organs. But, I was thinking human body is made out of 60% water. Why weren't they donating that too? So I'm drinking water.
Oh, very clever.
Ben is really, really disappointed in me.
That was a long route to get to water.
Yeah, we took the scenic route for that. Yeah.
Fuck you. I did so much work on coming up with that.
Well, this week we watched the Korean film The Man from Nowhere, which is available to watch on Amazon Prime, Plex, Peacock, Tubi, and many others, actually. It's a very easy to find movie.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I was very excited about that. Everyone should watch it.
I started on Amazon Prime and it was dubbed.
Oh, same.
No, Peacock. I started on Peacock and it was dubbed. So then I went to Amazon Prime.
Where did I start then? Oh, I started on Plex and it was dubbed.
Yeah.
I used Amazon Prime and that was subtitled. It was not dubbed.
But I got about 30 seconds in with the dub and I'm like, not doing this.
Yeah. And we can definitely talk about dubbed and subbed, but generally I always prefer subs.
Nick, thank you again for coming on and joining us today to talk this movie. What's been going on with you and all the many projects you have your hands in?
So many.
Well, I've been dealing with, we just got, before we recorded, I was talking about, and I mentioned because of the Sprite thing, that I've been dealing with a head injury for the last year and some symptoms of tinnitus and everything. So I've been medication. I'm slowly at the end of the whole process. So I'm not really podcasting as much, but I am still participating with the YouTube channel, Kyle Nick on Film. I'm just alleviating some of the things I have to do to kind of get recover. So, but the podcast is still up. St. Paul Filmcast is still up. We're planning on returning this fall. So we have some bookings for this fall.
Oh, that's great.
People coming back. But I don't think I'm going to do it as extensively as I used to, just to slow into the scheduling and stuff like that from my head injury. If people are curious, I just had a simple playing old man hockey, and so I got hit in the head with a stick. It's just simple, but for when you're past your 40s, recovering from those kind of things take a lot longer than when you're in your 20s. And then you need heavy medications for it as well.
Nick, I'm so glad that you're not the only one that, runs into things or things run into them, because I walked into a playground pole and got a concussion. So, yeah.
Was it yesterday?
No, this was January. I had a pretty bad concussion.
Right. I had it too. I was like nauseous and dizzy. And I was like, I thought maybe I had an upset stomach. And then somebody's like,
Watch
no.
out for those hockey sticks and playground poles. They're out to get us.
Nick, even with your head injury, I'm sure you found time to still digest media. So what's something you've watched recently that you would want to sell us on?
Oh, well, yesterday it's available on HBO Max. My wife surprisingly never seen this movie from 1992. We watched School Ties with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, Chris O'Donnell, and Brendan Fraser as the lead. And so we watched that. It's Brendan going to this prep school in the 50s to be the star athlete. And then things kind of take a dark turn. And when they find out that Brendan's character in the movie is Jewish at a Catholic private school. And he has to deal with a lot of racism and anti-Semitism in the movie.
Cool.
It's a wonderful movie if you could check it out.
Okay. Dead Poet Society with a little bit of bite, it sounds like.
Yes, you're definitely with a bite. Yeah. A lot of actors you'll recognize that movie. School Ties.
And Nick, we have talked before on this podcast about your kind of penchants for foreign movies and how on some of your end of year lists there's always foreign movies showed up, and I asked you, like, how do you find these? Was this movie something you had seen before?
I've seen it discussed a lot through social media, just because the familiar people that like John Wick always cite this movie, that you will like this movie as well, even though it came out in 2010. Very much of the same kind of I would say caliber. So I had never seen this movie before. Thank you guys for picking it, because I've never seen it before. But I've seen a lot of people reference this movie when they talk about John Wick.
And you've seen all the John Wick movies too?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool. I have seen 0 of them, even though I know that I would probably really enjoy everything but the dead dog. So
yeah, well, you understand his entire motivation throughout the whole series is because somebody killed his dog.
Yes, that's the only thing that I know about. It was like I Am Legend too. The only thing I knew is that the dog died. That was like the whole thing that I knew about the movie. But weirdly enough, did not know about anything relating to dogs in The Thing, and I recently saw that for the first time. So anyway,
no.
there are no dogs in this movie. I don't know what I'm talking about. Ben, please.
There were many cute dogs on that farm that were adopted by that guy. Yeah,
that's true. Never mind. There were dogs. There were alive dogs, no dead dogs. God.
If we have 1 second, I realized the main dog from The Thing is half wolf and half husky. And so everybody was when they talk about it, they were afraid of the dog, because he would do like in the movie, he would just stand in the corner like, what's that? And like they'll freak out, or they just stand there and he would just swither by like, what is going on? So it was half wolf walking around going, and he's like, is he going to kill me? What the heck?
God.
Oh my gosh.
But he was very, very sniper-esque. He would just kind of waltz into the room. He didn't even know he was there.
Huh.
The Man from Nowhere is currently at 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's why we included it. When you ever see that, you got to check out a movie like that and just see what it's all about. And I'm glad we did. It is directed and written by Jang Byum Lee, who also wrote and directed the 2006 film Cruel Winter Blues. And starring in this movie is Won Bin, who starred in the K-drama Autumn in My Heart before landing film roles in Taeguk Gui, The Brotherhood of War, and a movie that we did already this season, Mother, where he played the son Do Jun.
Did he really? Yes. I really not put this? Yeah, I know you said that we were going to see this again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they are the same guy.
Oh my God.
Very different roles, for sure.
This is the last movie he's appeared in. So he has not appeared in a movie since this one.
Yeah, he was apparently very selective about the roles he took before this, and just hasn't taken one since this movie, which is too bad, because I think between Mother and this one, like, his star was clearly on the rise. Like,
yeah,
he was great in this movie, and he was great in Mother.
Oh my gosh, his hair makes so much more sense now. Sorry, I'm just looking at pictures. Ben, none of us had seen this movie. What did you think this movie was about?
Yeah, I really had no idea what this movie was about. I thought it was a romantic sci-fi movie.
Oh my God.
Kind of like 50 Shades of Grey, except with an alien. And the alien introduces the woman to like a world of like intergalactic pleasures, you know?
Wow. That is from nowhere.
Yeah, he's from nowhere. Also, once I wrote the line intergalactic pleasures, I tried to look that up online, and that was a mistake.
No.
Yeah, don't do that, you weirdo.
That took me down a bad rabbit hole.
I mean, depending on people's preferences, it could be a good rabbit hole, but
Yeah, it's
moving
not my
right
cup
along.
of tea. That alien egg implantation role playing.
Not for Ben.
Not for Ben.
Good,
Yeah.
good for all of us to know, I guess. Nick, please save us. Tell us what this movie's actually about.
Okay. So, an ex-special agent's only connection to the rest of the world is a little girl. Her mother smuggles drugs from drug trafficking organizations and entrusts him with the product without letting him know. The drug traffickers find out that her smuggling and kidnap the mother and daughter. The gang promises to release them if Taishik makes a delivery for them. However, it's actually a larger plot to eliminate the rival drug leader. When the mother's dead body is discovered, Taishik realizes the daughter's life may be in danger. He becomes enraged at the prospect of her being dead and prepares for battle, putting his own life at risk.
Woo!
That's a lot.
Yeah. There's a lot in that plot synopsis, and it's something that I've found in looking at these DVD covers that happens a lot with foreign films, where they tend to over-explain, and I think it's probably they wrote this in Korean and then tried to translate it into English, and it comes off a little choppy.
Over-explaining?
I think, and over-explaining. Yep.
Right.
I am glad, though, just to see the synopsis, because as things were happening, I felt like I kept missing some parts, and partially due to the translation. Like we talked about briefly at the beginning of the episode, dubs and subs are always never going to be good enough for a foreign film for us. You're not going to get all of the connotations and the context that you need, but I feel that subtitles are way better because then you really get the authentic actor's experience and performance. And I always appreciate that it's a little bit easier to fit more words on the screen than trying to match it up with people's mouths moving. And I guess reading the synopsis, and then also I read through Wikipedia's plot synopsis as well, I was like, oh, this was a rival drug ring person. Did not put two and two together. I thought they were all working for each other, but it definitely helped kind of smooth out a few of the pieces. I mean, it made sense. I thought they were like, I'm going to betray you guys now. And also we sell organs of children and other people, you know, like there's a lot going on here in this drug ring.
There's no donating happening, that's for sure.
There's no donating. No. Should keep that word away from this episode today.
So yeah, I this is my first time seeing it, and I knew what I was getting into. I kind of researched about it a little bit, but it has definitely all the little flavors and intricacies that I do like about South Korean films. Because almost like the Best Picture Parasite, you know what you're getting into. The trajectory is still there, but it's so compact with other little subplots, other little things that it almost seems so compressed with so much little things, but you forget it's a simple lone wolf cub story, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is in the same vein as, like, you talked about John Wick or Taken or Leon the Professional. Like, there's a lot of movies that this kind of reminded me of. And I think this movie did a very good job of getting me to care about this relationship that exists between this young girl and this guy, to the point where I could understand why he would be so vociferous in trying to go after this girl and finding her.
What a word. Wow.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've never heard that word before.
I'm now looking it up to make sure I used it correctly. And I did. Yeah.
Nice job, Ben. Those AP classes paid off.
That's right.
Yeah, I think for me, there's kind of this weirdness whenever I see a young girl and like a older guy relationship. I've never seen Leon the Professional, but I know that I've heard there are some like things that people have kind of overly sexualized Natalie Portman from when she was, 12, 11? I don't know.
Yes.
And even within the movie, there was just like some sort of weird feelings. Again, please correct me if I'm wrong. But I felt like for someone not being a parent, like literally he is not a father like Liam Neeson is in Taken, and not having some sort of connection to this girl other than she's looking for an escape. I love how they set up the beginning where he didn't talk to her. He was just there. He was a better parent than her mom because he would feed her and she would just be there and be company. And I felt it was a very powerful relationship.
Right. Yeah. And it's something I put in my notes, lone wolf and cub formula that we've been seeing a lot in the 70s. But, Emily, you're a Star Wars fan. I mean, every good Star Wars story is lone wolf and cub, from, Obi-Wan Kenobi bringing Luke. It's every one of them. The Mandalorian is lone wolf and cub. And that formula is effective, and you can use it the right way. I simply, I write stories about lone wolf. I just don't add the cub in it. Which maybe I should, because I think people can relate to both ends. They're both
right.
Both really come from places that nobody cares about, and that's how they get along.
Right, and I think because it's such a well-known, I don't want to say trope, but well-known story.
Well-known formula.
Telling. Yeah, it's a well-known formula. I think that it's specifically that the girl is not a boy. You have to be a little bit more careful because there is that sort of grooming connotation that can come out of some of those stories. Yes. Versus, with Baby Yoda, everyone's like, nope, Mando's not doing anything.
Right.
Shit, Ben, what am I doing? But do you know what I mean? Me as a woman watching this very familial relationship build between this ex-special agent and this young girl, I felt was very beautiful and very innocent, and it was a breath of fresh air, honestly, just to see that, and there was nothing that could be taken out of context.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I think the proper way to start out this is he doesn't want that relationship. In fact, I don't think he wants a relationship with everybody. The little kid is kind of like, would you just want to play and hang out? I'm hanging in the dark. And it's that reluctance. I don't want to get involved, not into an intimate relationship. I just don't want to have a relationship period with you. Right. Plus your music's awful. The music that you like is awful. So yeah, it's almost from the lone wolf's perspective, it's the reluctance. I have to do this. And then once you realize, crap, I care about her, I'm going to have to go after these bad guys. It's almost like...
And it's with that reluctance. And then also the way that the movie kind of slow rolls out the information about Cha. And we see like maybe some more reasons why he's willing to throw himself completely into this and try to rescue this daughter, because we see, his wife at one point was pregnant and just a horrific accident. Not an accident. She was murdered.
Oh my God, that was shot so well.
So well. But I really like that kept up the pace of this movie, because this movie could have had a lot of lulls where he's like between fights, but instead they kept it with, okay, we're between a fight. Let's go back and see kind of what's driving him maybe in this moment.
Yeah, and I really struggle with long action movies, especially when they're broken up by ads. Thank you, Amazon Prime. It's fine. I'm perfectly fine with it. But also, this movie really captured my attention. Every single detail, every single moment. And you're right, it just kept building off of each other. And there didn't seem to be any significant lulls. And when they did happen, it was just a breath. And then we kept moving, and it kept on. I don't know. I freaking love this movie.
Yeah, you had to show the little girl whose was her nickname Garbage. Love it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. But you have to present it as convincing, but organically. It can't be just forced on you. You have to really believe that they kind of like each other, no matter how rotten he is to her.
Right, especially when she like points at him after she gets caught stealing from some boy, and it's like, that's my dad, and he just like stands there and walks away. I got nothing to do with you, kid. And she comes back. She's like, I still appreciate you, like you.
Yes. But it's that almost like, yeah, you have to convince us that it's there. You can't just force it to us. So, because that's the key. Once we believe that relationship, then we can believe all the silliness, action heroes and stabbings and all that stuff. We can convince her, yeah. But the primary force is we got to believe this is actually legitimate. Yeah.
There is talks of there being an American remake of this from the team that made John Wick. So the John Wick team was kind of inspired by Man from Nowhere. There's a little bit of inspiration in their creation already, but now they want to go back and actually do a remake of this. Good idea, bad idea? Thoughts on that?
I don't think it needs to happen. Although I've never seen any of the John Wick movies. Maybe they're trying to add it to their universe. You know, I feel like that's something people say online when I read on Reddit. They're like, the Wick universe. But I feel like this movie is such a beautiful film, especially this beautiful South Korean film with all of these amazing actors and actresses and the director, just how they work together. I just don't feel like it needs it. Like, why, what is the purpose of remaking it? Is it just because they want to have a great homage to it? Wasn't that what the John Wick movies were? I don't know. Nick?
I would actually challenge them. Maybe when you reverse genders, maybe instead of, how about Woman from Nowhere and the little boy that always gets in trouble?
Yeah.
And that's the perspective we've never really seen. Usually One Wolf Cub is older man with a little adolescent. And maybe challenge yourself, can it be effective doing the opposite? How about a lone female and the little cub is a little boy that gets robbed stuff and all the time that nobody wants to treat right?
From a creator's standpoint, I guess I question of what's the driving force behind wanting to do a remake? Because when I hear let's do a remake of this movie, it screams to me it's going to make money. Like you take an action movie like this, put it in America, American audiences will show up to a movie like this. I mean, the ones that are on Netflix now that are selling like The Gray Man or these movies that are going straight to Netflix, like this would be a success here. I don't see the creative merit in doing a remake of this. And maybe one of you two sees it.
Unless, like Nick said, they do something that's really different and push themselves a little bit more to make it more unique.
Let's get into the good, bad, and weird of this movie.
There's so much that's good about this movie.
Let's start with Emily then. Emily, who won this movie for you?
I think the action scenes really outdid it for me in this movie. You know, I thought that the way that they were shot, and then on top of it, the main character, Taishik, who's played by Won Bin, he said he wanted to do everything. So I watched a little behind the scenes stuff from the DVD that's on YouTube. I highly encourage anyone to watch it. And it was just so fun watching him go through and learn how to do things, and everyone's cheering him on, and it's a very positive atmosphere. But on top of it, like, they wanted to do a body double, and he said, no, I really want to do all of this. And so watching him jump through the window and having it smash everywhere, I was like, oh shit, that was you. That was really you. That was so cool. And you know, all of the knife fights, which are just spectacular. I mean, my dad's a black belt in karate, and he's always taught me, like, if you're in a knife fight, you're going to get cut. Just expect it. But I loved it. I loved how everything was a beautiful blend of many different South Asian styles of martial arts, and they were really engaging and intense. I loved it.
Yeah, I mean, my winning is right along with that, Emily. Like, I love the stunt choreography, but specifically the stunt cinematography was something I wanted to call out. There's the shot that you brought up of him jumping out the window, and there's something to that shot that just feels very like humble braggy in the terms of filmmaking. Like, normally you see that and it's something that's like been built to, and then that's the grand explosion of him jumping out the window, but they just like threw it in there randomly, and it was so cool, but it was so mundane in how cool it was. Like, it was just like playing it cool that I really liked that. And then the incorporation of the POV shots in the knife fight at the end.
Oh, right.
Where all of a sudden the camera is in the place of one of the characters. That was really cool.
Something I didn't expect at all.
And then the shot of the garbage truck hitting the car. That was
Oh my god.
did not expect that. I thought for sure it was going to be because they alluded to it earlier that it was he got shot. So I was expecting her to get shot, and then they just called it a car accident, and then all of a sudden the car accident happens, and you're like, oh shit.
The detail of her blood dripping out of the car was sickeningly amazing. Just whoever came up with that idea, wow, that was intense.
Nick, did you have a winner?
I think for me, I do like the intricacies of implanting the man from nowhere involved. Like it's set up for him to be in part against the rivals. It's not a linear, just I'm going after the bad guys, but he gets manipulated and used so much that oh my God, I forgot. I'm being played. And I think that's a wonderful play on a lot of these stories that we see just a singular revenge story, but that he's seduced into a scam he should have seen ahead. And that makes him even more irritated that, oh, I fell for this just scam. Now I have to go back to two people. These two gangs I'm going to have to take down when he knows he has more work to do than he thought initially.
Yeah.
That scene where he drops to his knees, to be arrested, I think, when the trunk of the car opens and it's the little girl's mom, that you could see everything on his face. He was like, oh shit, everything has gone wrong. This is all my fault.
Right.
He just looked so defeated, but at the same time, like, I was so ready to see what was going to happen next, because after the brief amount of time that we saw him kill, I can't remember one of the lackeys' names. I think he was called Bear or something because he was super big. Like, seeing that brief instance, you're like, something's going to go down. We know something's going to go down. I'm very excited for this. We should definitely talk about So-Mi, the little girl, because, oh my God, she was amazing. She was so great. And I think as much as she had like a seriousness to her, she had, and throughout the whole movie, there were elements of comedy. She mentions to him about how you do look like the prison type to, to Taishik. And there were some little pieces of just sweetness where she did the little girl's nails and just how she played that off. She was so excellent, and the way that they used her was fantastic.
I agree. Yes. It has to work for that the whole movie to work, that little girl.
Yep. And specifically the scene that I think is the most important is her monologue that she does to the guy before she gets taken, where she's like, I can't hate you because then there wouldn't be anyone for me to like. Like, and she's crying there, and it's like, oh yeah, like you can see kind of foreshadowing, like if something happens to her, he's going to come help her. And very few movies can make me cry in the first act.
Did you?
And the fact that got to me is just a testament to the screenwriting and performance. It was really good. That part wrecked me.
Oh, Ben, big old softy.
I do like her sales pitch of maybe we start a rock band, Pound Shop Ghost and Garbage.
Yeah,
right. And the funny thing is, as I was watching some of the behind the scenes stuff with the director, like a lot of the stuff that they were just playing off of each other. He would say, hey, why don't you like throw yourself on the bed and just like, I want to play a game. Why don't you have a PC? And then she immediately asks a question about like, well, wouldn't I just, I can't remember what she said, but she was always challenging the director on things. And he said that she was super intelligent, and just some of the things that she came up with and the way that she performed were incredibly impressive to him.
I absolutely agree. Yeah.
I love the line where they're interrogating some guy and they're about to hit him with a hatchet, and then the guy runs up behind and grabs the hatchet and hits him in the head.
Oh, yes.
And the other guy goes, you fucking startled me. Like
I know. I know.
And then he got blood on his, was it Dolce Gabbana shirt? It's Dolce Gabbana.
Yes.
Right. Bought this yesterday.
Yes. There's another moment where one of the brothers kind of looks at his goons and he's like, he hung up on me, just like so perturbed and annoyed at that. How dare he? And another really great moment, I thought, in the beginning, where that man, I can't remember, he must have been one of the drug people, he takes the tree out of the pot and starts using it to fight. I just did not expect that. There were just so many of those moments where you're going, oh, cool, but also this is funny. This is funny? What is happening?
Yeah, so I'm thank God for bringing it up, because we always do in writers workshop is we have to, and I do it too when I read other people's scripts, is I try to find something that's funny into it intentionally, because I think, well, people like it's not funny, and people are like, well, it's not a funny story. I go, it has to have something involved that you're aware that has to be funny. And this movie
makes it human.
It makes it human. There's a lot of things in this movie that are funny. The little girl trying so hard to be, try to get in his way, and the music and stuff like that. But also the interrogation thing that really is bloody and gory, but it's funny because he wasn't ready for it. And he's wearing it, and is ruining his shirt. So I always try to look for, is there parts of it funny? Because I think that's tough to do, and it's tough to recognize, especially if you're a writer, that it has to have some kind of elements that people can laugh. Because if people can laugh, then you can make it even more emotionally. You could take them along, because they get more invested in the movie if they're going to show, or if they're going to react to different emotions to it.
Right. I also want to call out a lot of just the realness to some of the moments that happen. Like, obviously there were some comedic moments, and there were some really interesting ways that people kind of interacted with each other. But one of my favorite things that happened in this movie is that Taishik ran out of bullets and had to reload. I am not kidding you. Probably one of my favorite things. I pointed at the screen and I'm going, oh my God, he's not just shooting over and over and over again. Like, he actually had to do something else and figure out and problem solve, or delay to reload. And I really appreciated that. And
he didn't do the cliche of, I ran out of bullets, so I throw my gun at you.
Right.
You didn't do it. He just set it down all right, now we're going down to knives. And once we get rid of knives, we're going down to fisticuffs. Yeah.
I really appreciated how constantly they would throw out unique things that I had never seen before. Like the introducing the main character just by the shot of his calloused knuckles. That told me all I needed to know about that guy.
Yeah.
Just seeing how he's clearly a fighter. Okay. The hair dryer is a torture device. Never seen that before. Oh
my God. Right? Oh my God.
I love the contraption with the hole in the bag and the lantern.
Oh, when he blew up the drug store. I don't know what it was called. It was a store, and there was behind it were drugs.
And then the bulletproof glass scene at the end where he just shoots it.
Oh my God, I freaking love that scene.
Yeah.
He's like, it's bulletproof. And he holds the gun to the windshield so that it doesn't move and keeps hitting the same spot. Fuck, so smart.
We'll get there. I'm on your yeah. I love that scene because it's almost like, we'll get there. You're on my schedule. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. God, there's just so much good about this movie. I can't even handle how much I liked it. There were some moments, even just the cinematography, that just blew me away. And I know that maybe they were cliche, but that elevator shot in the dark hallway where, it's all black, but the light behind him, that's it. Ugh, goosebumps.
There's definitely moments of cinematography being flashy. Even at the beginning of the movie, where are we? Oh, they're in the car. They just turned the car light on. That's very kind of effective. But also, they shoot it almost like a lot of the stuff that's very action heavy. They shoot it very documentary style. I'm thinking the flashback of the dump truck crashing into the cars. Because if you look at the cameras, where's the action? They kind of almost like a documentary. Oh, there it is. And it goes right there.
Mm-hmm.
So there's elements of very stylized, very still camera, but also very the camera's witnessing it just like us as it is happening, and using that trick of where should we look at? Oh, we look at here. So very effective use of both presentations of almost we're seeing a documentary as it's happening, but also very flashback, very style of convincing us, yes, Stuart, we're still watching a movie.
Yeah.
God, I learn so much from Nick every time I talk to him. So this is cool.
Well, take notes if you want to do your own movie, if you want to write it.
Yeah.
Maybe someday. We'll see.
So much to like in this movie. Was there anything that you guys didn't like?
I'll start out with the obvious. I put in my notes. They no female developed characters.
Yeah.
And I think you need still, it's 2010, but that should be on your radar all the time. Even the one developed female character is a horrible person. You need some kind of balance out. There's not a lot of female dialogue, not enough female characters talking.
Where are the female goons? Come on.
Right. So I think if there's a strong minus to that, I think there's no strong female characters in the movie that, in its essence, there should have been.
Yeah, and I think that's a fault of a lot of action movies in general. I think maybe they're getting better. I haven't really seen a ton of action movies in the last 5-10 years ever. I don't watch a lot of movies, guys. I can't say that anymore, Ben. I'm sorry. I've seen a lot of movies now. But I guess I didn't really like the detectives as much. And maybe that would have been a good place to add some more diversity in the cast. I think that they felt too similar to just like their attitude and how they were going about things. They felt almost just thrown together, similar to some of the drug goons, you know, the way that they even moved, you know, just we're going to run the same way that the lackeys are running around. And I just felt like they needed to differentiate themselves as a group better. But I guess that, I mean, I wouldn't want them to have put uniforms on them. Obviously, they wanted to blend in. But there should have been like an attitude or a character adjustment.
Yeah, I agree with that one.
I loved 99.9% of this movie.
Did you hate the freeze frame?
The freeze frame with the pop song at the end completely lost me. I was like, what the fuck are you doing? You know better than that. No. You can't explain to me why that pop song kicked in other than Korean audiences like happy endings, and that's why they threw it in there.
Yeah, K-pop.
Because I have heard that before where Korean audiences, like we talked about that with The Good, Bad, and the Weird, where they changed the ending because Korean audiences wanted a happy ending. But don't fabricate it like that with that pop song. Come on. Any weird?
No. Well, for me, the weirdness is it's kind of a scenic route to take it, but it's all the things I like about Korean films. They're the villains are very gaudy and outrageous and exaggerated.
Yes.
Usually the protagonist doesn't say a whole lot. You have very gaudy crimes. I don't know. There's eyeball fetish. Everything always with Korean movies, something with eyeballs has to be either damaged or something like that. It's kind of their little thing working with. So it's like all the things I recognize with Korean films, and then the action. Of course, you have a lot of the jilted camera, but also very creative using with the knives. You know, I can't let you go, and I keep stabbing you. No. So always creative, but it's also recognizable. Like, yes, that's exactly what I usually see with Korean films.
I don't think anything stood out as blatantly weird to me, honestly. I think just connecting the dots that this is the same actor from Mother right now, that is literally the only weird thing to me, because he was so different in Mother, like just so different. And that just shows us what a great actor Won Bin is. Like, holy fucking shit.
My weird is a scene that shows up in the middle of the movie. They show this guy in a wheelchair.
Oh,
and then from out of frame comes a police officer who like running jump kicks him directly in the chest.
Yes.
And
yes.
It took me I was completely shocked by that. And then my brain started trying to like work it out. Like, you'd have to be so certain that you have the right guy and an open and shut case to risk jump kicking a man in a wheelchair.
Yes.
Because the optics on that are so bad that if you fuck that up, you're never forgiven. It's like shooting Derek Jeter.
Yes.
From the other guys.
He better be holding like 2 guns in his hand. Yes.
Yeah, this is what I meant by they needed something different about their attitude and character, because like I know that obviously detectives and cops are not going to be the good guys, but there needed to be just like a difference. And I don't know if that was just like comedy element or what, but I didn't even know the guy in the wheelchair was a bad guy or a gang member, you know?
It's a simple formula of maybe the detectives are 2 females. Put that in there. They're strong females. There. Emily and I are writing a script. We're doing the remake. We're doing the remake and reversing all
the directors from John Wick. I don't actually know who directed John Wick. Sorry, y'all. But we'll write it.
Well, let's put a cork in this thing and give our final thoughts on The Man from Nowhere. And we're going to start with Nick.
Overall, this is fantastic. It's why it's got a lot of reviews. It does take its time. You think an action movie is just going to be kind of generic, but there's some real interesting things, very signature things about the movie that's only for the movie. And it shows, once again, Lone Wolf and Cub formula works. And if you know how to work it right, it's going to just gravitate to everybody as well. And there's some certain things that are affected that are really funny that keeps you on that journey as well. So overall, I recommend it. I'm probably going to go see it again.
Yeah, nice. Em?
I really liked this movie. I definitely recommend it. I don't really know how to encapsulate anything more than what Nick just said because he really said it all. But I will say that for someone who doesn't always like the blood and gore of things when they're super real, I felt like it wasn't a bad thing in this movie. I felt like the action in it, everything made sense. Everything clicked. It was such a well-run machine throughout the movie that I just had a fucking fantastic time.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on in this movie, a lot of really phenomenal pieces. And I feel like for the first time, we're really underselling the movie. Like, for as much as we're like lavishing on it, like there's so much stuff we didn't talk about that's just so good in this movie. So many little details that work and build this cohesive and interesting film. And I strong recommend go see this. It's available literally 7 or 8 different streaming places. Take the time.
Just watch
2
it.
hours. Just watch it.
What's your favorite idea? Mine is being creative.
How do you get the idea?
I just try to think creatively.
Are we ready for some twit-like questions?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Number 1. Our hero was off the record from 1998 to 2006. I thought it'd be really funny for you all to tell me what would you want off the record in 1998 to 2006.
Oh, jeez.
All my college classes grades. Huh? You can swipe that clean.
Probably my fashion sense or lack thereof. Like if we can get rid of all the pictures of me wearing things I had no business wearing and looking the way that I did, it's embarrassing.
For me, 5th and 6th grade, I distinctly remember wearing like the same sweatshirt every single day and not washing it enough.
Oh.
But that was what everyone was wearing. Everyone wore the same sweatshirt. I didn't realize they had multiples of the same sweatshirt and that their parents like washed them regularly. I still had friends, they didn't mind. Ben's fashion sense scared away all of his friends.
Yeah, seriously.
All right. Number 2. So you two have to imagine yourselves as goons in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think you're getting killed off by the hero? You're going to go by knife fight, blown up? What's going to happen? Something stupid?
Something really stupid. I'm sure like a barrel of bolts are going to be falling on my head or just walk into a room and then, yeah. Nothing. You won't take time to be creative, like, dumping heroin and the lamp falls down. It'd be something really stupid.
See, I think I die. I'm the goon who gets sent into that room after the gunfight to clean up. And I step on the eyeball and slip and like break my neck.
It's gonna be like something like it's a non-lit stairwell, and then he whistles free candy down here, and then I fall down the steps. Right.
Okay. Last question, number 3. This is a Wesley approved question.
Oh.
Prefacing that.
All right, I'm ready now.
Okay. I don't know what that means or why
He
that
helped
preface
me
is
write it.
needed. Okay.
After spending so much time in the hospital, Wesley fell in love with a nurse and is looking for his next procedure and transplant after 2, because 2 is not enough for him.
Oh.
And wouldn't you know it, he just can't get another organ. So it looks like it's up to us to find him a new organ. What organ are you donating to Wesley so he can meet the love of his life?
The 2 eyeballs in a canister. How about that?
My own organs?
It just says, what organ are you donating to Wesley? You can donate something of yours.
You guys ever play blackjack?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever heard the strategy rule of when you get 2 5s, if you had a 10-inch stick, would you cut it into 2 5-inch sticks? You ever heard that for a reason to never split 5s?
Yeah.
I'm gonna give Wesley half of what I'm rocking.
So he's gonna have 2 penises? Is that what you're saying?
Well, it's like his 3 kidneys. 2 of them don't work. So he can have 2 dicks. 1 of them don't work.
I'm assuming that's yours then.
Oh, mine works.
Oh God, no.
Now let's all agree to never be creative again.
I got a game before we go, and this game is called The People from Somewhere.
All right.
So I'm going to give you the name of a place, and you tell me a character that calls that place home.
Oh, good.
So these are places from movies or TV.
Uh-huh.
You just have to tell me a character that comes from that place.
Got it.
And
really bad
whoever
at
rings
this.
in first gets a point.
Okay.
So the first one is Bedrock.
Fred Flintstone.
That is correct. The next
Didn't know
one,
that.
Hill Valley.
George McFly.
That's correct. That is the Back to the Future city. Emily, how you doing?
Oh boy. I don't know what's happening.
We'll get to some that you might know soon. How
Okay.
about Greenbow, Alabama?
Is it Forrest Gump?
It is Forrest Gump. Way to go.
It was the accent. It was the accent. I was like, I don't know, Alabama.
Sunnydale.
Oh my God. This is wrong, but is it Buffy?
It is Buffy.
Oh, that's why you got it. Okay.
Way to go. Next one, Melmac.
I'm lost.
It's another planet.
Melmac.
Is the home to puppets who eat cats.
Elf?
It is Elf. Elf.
Oh,
Yep.
God.
Elf is from Melmac. That is correct.
that was a deep file. Okay.
Yeah, that was a deep cut. Okay. New York.
Philip J. Fry.
That's correct. Futurama.
Yes.
Way to go, Emily. How about Pallet Town? We're really bouncing all over the place here with these. Pallet Town.
I don't know.
That is the hometown of Ash Ketchum from Pokemon.
Okay.
I would not have known that.
I would not know.
Okay. Here's one Emily might know. How about Stars Hollow?
Stars Hollow.
Oh, shit. Shit, I hate you. Fuck. I'm gonna be so angry. What?
Stars Hollow. It sounds like something like SpongeBob or something like that.
3,
Ben.
2, 1. That is the hometown of the Gilmore Girls.
Oh my
Yep,
God.
I would have known that.
See, you asked the wrong person.
I
This
fucking
household.
hate them.
My wife would have got that.
Last one, Adventure Bay.
I have no idea.
Clearly have no Paw Patrol fans here, which is too
No.
bad.
I don't have no.
We'll call that a tie. Way to go, everybody.
Oh,
I
all
was
right.
keeping score.
Emily.
Yeah, way to go.
Okay.
All right.
Way to go, Nick.
I think it was 2-2, 3-2. Well,
I think Nick won, but it's fine.
Well, Nick, thank you so much for joining us today to
man.
talk this movie.
Thank
we
you
really
for having
appreciate
me.
you coming on. Why don't you plug your shit before you go?
Okay.
Wow.
So you can find my show, the St. Paul Filmcast, anywhere you can find podcasts where I interview independent filmmakers from around the Twin Cities. You can catch me on YouTube with film critic Kyle Gothy, Kyle and Nick on Film. And I'll give you a heads up. We just finished a recording where we talked about the 1987 films Angel Heart and Slumber Party Massacre Part 2.
Ooh.
So look for those in a couple weeks.
And how about your comic?
Comic is going pretty well. We're getting back slowly, recovering from the head injury. So we're just a little bit of a time, couple hours a day before the tinnitus kicks in again and I get a big flare up. But we're still effective. We're going to be, you can catch me. Forgot to mention this because of my head injury. I will be at Twin Cities Con this year.
Ooh.
So if you're interested to come by, Twin Cities Con, I believe is coming up in November. It's an entire weekend at the Minneapolis Convention Center.
Nice. Can't wait, Nick.
Oh, I know.
We're really happy that we're able to go out there again.
I know. It's a lot of fun. I love meeting fans and cosplayers. It's just one of those things like, oh my God, I'm back home.
Yes. All right. Well, thanks again, Nick. We really appreciate you being here. Next week, everyone, we will be watching Exam with our good friends Aubrey and Emily from National Treasure Hunt. Get some puzzling going.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, Nick, before you go, let's have you in your best Forrest Gump impression end the episode by saying, I drink your podcast, I drink it up.
I'll drink your podcast, I drink it all up.
Well, that was, I like that.
Okay.
Fantastic.
That was good. Okay, bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.